Okay, this is how you create a post for my blog. So here in WordPress, you can go to New, Post, or you can go to the side and hover over Post and hit Add New. Either one works, takes you to the same place. So you click this and it takes you here. Okay, so this is how you'll begin the post. So you go to the article that you wrote. Here, we'll take an old article that was published already. So I'll grab this title here. I will copy it. So it's Command or Control C. I'll go back to WordPress and I'll paste the title in. Command or Control V. Okay, so that's the title. And then you can go back to the post and you can highlight from the top of the post all the way down. All the way down. You can highlight the whole article. You don't have to do this in chunks. All the way down to the end of the article. Command or Control C to copy it. Go back to the article. And right here where it says, let me just show you that again, start writing or type, to choose a block, you just click here. You paste it, your article in. Okay? So now if I scroll up, I see the article, title, paragraphs, things that were bolded right from the Google Doc or the Word document that this was created in. You could also create this whole article in WordPress itself if you prefer to do that. That's another way to do it. I'll just go back. So here I have the title. If I wanted to start typing and writing, I can start typing here, and anything that I type will just start being part of the article, right? Put a period here, that's the end of two sentences, and then here I can highlight, I can bold things. If you click here, let's just start on the left. This can be a heading if you wanted it to be. So now you see that it's a heading. And once it's a heading, you can change it from H2 to H3, whatever it needs to be. I prefer my headings to be H2. If this was a bulleted point, so in other words, if this was like, step 1, I prefer these to be H3. Okay, so this would be H3. Okay, so we have the title, right, and then we have, you can start typing and add a new block. There's always like a plus sign under, if you hit something or you click below what you've typed, you see a plus sign here, and you can add another paragraph, another heading. So if you want to add a paragraph, you just click here and you start typing your next paragraph. Okay, you can type that paragraph. If you hit return, then it gives you that plus sign again, so you could add your next thing, right? So it could be a numbered list, right? Bulleted points, numbered lists, etc. Okay, so anyway, let's just go back. I'm going to highlight all of this and delete it, okay, because I want to paste in the article. So Command or Control V, and I paste in the whole article. Okay, so from here, what you want to do, you want to go through your article and make sure you don't see any grammatical errors, and you want to make sure that it's formatted properly. Okay, so here you want to make sure these new sections are H2, right? So this one is already. So this is how I start checking it, right? And this fabric, see, it's a paragraph, but I want this to show up in my table of contents, and it's only going to show headings. So I actually changed this to a heading, but not H2. I want this to be H3. So bullet points and numbered lists, I want to be H3. So I go down and make sure, click on these and make sure they're not just paragraphs, because then they get lost. The user can't click on the table of contents to get right to this. They won't even see it in the table of contents. So that's why I make these headings so they show up. And I'll show you what I mean as far as how they show up. So it's a numbered list, so it's not H2. It's not the start of a new section. It's a numbered list within a section. So I want that to be a little smaller, H3. Okay, so let's just take a moment and preview what it looks like. Okay, so desktop, preview in a new tab. So I click that, and it's going to show me what my work's looking like so far. Okay, so here's the title. All right, this stuff comes up automatically. I do this in the background, so you don't have to worry about this type of stuff. Okay, here's paragraphs, and here's a table of contents. So I did 2 of the numbered lists. So now a section shows up, but now also the user, the reader, can go right to the fabric or the structure and design, right? They can click on that, and it takes them right to structure and design. You see right there. So that's why it's important to get these right. So I want to keep going. I just kind of close this tab and I keep going. Make this, change this to a heading. All right, I go through. There's one other important thing that I want to mention. Any links that you put in, okay, it's very important that a link opens in a new tab. Okay, so let's just go up to the top somewhere, right? And let's just do, let's just say we have a link for nightwear. Okay, so to make a link, you can highlight it. You choose this link button here. Okay, and then you put in the URL. So you can open up a tab. Let's say we go to google.com. You highlight this, Control or Command C to copy it, and then you go back to the article. Okay, you highlight the word or the name that you want to become a link. You click the link button. When you paste it in, it shows up in the proper way, which is HTTPS blah blah blah. You don't want to have to type all this in, so you should copy it from the place that you proved actually works. Now here's what's really important. If you just click this, okay, it has created the link. But when somebody clicks on this now, they're gonna move away from my website, and I might never get them to come back. They might never finish reading this article. So what I do, so I'll click on this again and I'll hit edit. Okay, so here we are back again. I paste in the URL, but you have to click open in new tab. Let me show you again. You paste in the URL here. You go down, you have to have this on, open in new tab, so that the reader can click on something, look at it in a tab next to what they're reading, and then come back to the article and keep getting information. Okay, so it's very important. Please make sure all links open in a new tab. All right, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll go preview again. All right, and preview in a new tab. It's going to show momentarily. Okay, so let's find that link. Here it is, nightwear. Okay, and when I click on it, it opens a new tab to google.com. Now, when I'm done with this, when I'm done looking at where the link sent me, I can just click the other tab, the old tab, and go right back to the article. I'm not gone. I don't have to worry about hitting back buttons, because that could be a rabbit hole, depending on how many times you clicked away. So it could be 4 back button clicks. It just gets confusing. One thing I do, at the end, like I prefer this to be, so I'll highlight this and I'll make this a conclusion, right? And I don't want it to be italic, So I have to highlight it to make a change. I don't want it to be italic. And I want this to be our heading 2. So it's a heading 2. Not heading 1. The title of the whole article is probably heading 1. But any section is heading 2. Any bullet points or number list, all right, heading 3. Okay, so I'll do that. Now over here on the right, this thing called block, but you want to click on post. So for example, this slug, this is what the URL will look like for the post, right? So when I say that, I mean it'll say colormecurvy.com, and this right here is this is temporary while I'm working on it. It won't say that. It's gonna say colormecurvy.com / plus size nightgowns that love your body type. Okay. So one thing that I do, because sometimes I don't like these to be super long, so I might go colormecurvy.com plus size nightgowns, right? And I might get rid of that. So that'll be the URL, colormecurvy.com / I don't have to put the slash here, it'll do it automatically. Plus size nightgowns, right? That's the topic still. Sometimes it's a little wordy to have like a really long title in the URL. So it's not mandatory that you work this out, but if you'd like to, just make sure that this is on topic so it makes sense in case people just want to type it in directly. It makes sense, it matches the topic. One of the other things that needs to be done is the category. So I never choose uncategorized, but I choose things that make sense to this title. Plus size nightgowns that will love your body type. So that that's not bra talk, that's not diet, that's not health and fitness, not holidays. It could be lifestyle, but maybe not. Could be occasions, not sure. But it's definitely style and fashion, so I click that. So here you can put it into a category so that people can come to the website. If they're looking for style and fashion related things, they go to the style and fashion area to find all that stuff. So that I'll show you what it ends up looking like. So if you go back to the site right here, see there's all these choices that users can choose. So style and fashion, they click that and they get all the articles that are style and fashion related. And if you clicked on style and fashion for your article, it'll show up here. Okay, it has to make sense though, so don't just choose a bunch just so it can be popular, but just allow it to make sense so the user has a nice experience. You don't have to worry about tags. All right, here's the last step that's important. So set featured image, right? The featured image, I'll just go here, show you how these end up looking. All right, so for any article, you have these images. If they're not sized all the same, this one might look more square, this one might look rectangle, and this gets really ugly. So in every article, the featured image looks like this. It's rectangular, and it just shows something related to the title, right? And then your article begins. But this can't be like this for this article, and then the next article it's square and takes up half of this space, or it's short, or it's super big, So to do my featured images, I use this free application called Figma. So if you go to figma.com, okay, it's here. So let's see. So let me see. Figma.com. It's free. You could sign up for it, but let me show you. So I created a project in Figma. You can do a new one here. You can do a new one here. But anyway, I have this thing here where I do my featured images, okay? So let me show you how to accomplish this. So if you hold the space bar and drag, you can move things over. You can move the whole screen over, okay? But first, here's the deal. So the size that the featured image should be is when you click on this here, I need the size to be 785 pixels by, that's width, by 400 height. I'll show you how to make that 785 by 400. So I hold spacebar. I'm just dragging this out of the way. So now I hit the A key, or I can hit the F key. So I hit the F key here and it makes a frame. Right? So I can make my rectangle. Now if it's not exact, it's okay because you can just type it in here. 785. Move over here by 400. Okay. So now I have this frame. Okay. And here I can change the name of it. So I can, I can call this night gowns. Okay. Enter. So now, how do I get images in here? One way is if you go to Figma and you go back to files, there's a community button and you can search here for a plugin called Unsplash. Enter. And if you click plugins, this is it right here. And this would normally say install. I have it installed already, so it's showing me a check mark. So now with Unsplash, when I go back to my project, so I'll just use back button and go back. So now when I go to my project here, okay, 785 by 400, I can go to here, plugins, and I can choose Unsplash. And now this comes up. Now it's hidden my workspace. So I hold spacebar and I just drag, hold the spacebar, drag. Okay. So now I'll search for nightgown, let's say, nightgown, enter. Okay. So maybe I'm choosing this image here. So you do that search. Whenever you have this highlighted, whatever you have highlighted, this image will go right in there. Click, and the image goes in there. What's beautiful about this, it doesn't change the size. I'm still at 785 by 400, right? And this is what I want from my article. I just want to show you another way to do this, okay? If you don't use the Unsplash plugin. So you can zoom in here, okay? You can do Control plus sign, spacebar, drag to the middle. Okay, Control plus sign, Command plus sign, or Control minus to zoom out, Command minus to zoom out. All right, so I have this here. Let's say I want to put an image here, and let's say you get one from Pexels. Okay, so let's do a nightgown. Okay, enter. So let's just say you wanted to use this image, okay? You download it, you can download it to your desktop, my desktop, okay? And I can name this picture nightgown, okay? And I hit download, okay? So now it's on my desktop, and if I go back to Figma, okay, I want to get that image, right, into Figma. In Figma, if you go here, you can do File, Place Image, okay? So it's Shift Command K, that's what I use. I don't usually go to File, but I go here, Place Image, and I find the image, nightgown, hit Enter, okay? And now, here's the image here. I can place it wherever I want. So let's just say I place it here. Okay. Now you see how it's not where you want it. You don't want to resize our 785 by 400. So I'm going to Control or Command minus so I can see the size of this whole image. Okay. So I need to make the image smaller. So let me just show you how I got that highlight. I'm going to move this out of the way. Move this out of the way. Okay, so the image is in here. inside of our 785 by 400. I don't want you to change that. And you can see when I hover, that's how big this image is. So we don't want to change the 75 by 400. We want to click the image. I know I have the image highlighted because here it is. It's so big. I hold Shift and Option. Okay. On a PC, it might be Shift and Alternate or something like that. And I can drag this in. Shift makes sure that I don't change the aspect ratio of this image. Okay. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Zoom in. You don't want to do things that change, like maybe squishes this woman's image to make her squashed from right to left or top to bottom. So that's why I usually hold Shift. So I can click here, I can drag this image and move it around now. So if I just want this lady moving the nightgown, right, and I maybe don't want her friend's head in there, I hold Shift and I drag her friend's head out of it. Now I have this image that is now fitting in 785 by 400. Okay? And then you could play with this to figure it out. Finally, I click on my frame right here. And I hit export. Right? And I can export it as a PNG or JPEG. JPEG is fine. You export this, it's going to export it. Right, now you might do something like feature, right? Because I already have nightgown here. Export it like that. Okay, now let's go back to the article. I click set featured image. I go here to upload files. I want to select the file I just exported. Nightgowns feature, enter. Okay, and then here for alternate text, this is for people who might be visually impaired. I just put whatever that image is. Woman putting on nightgown. Okay? Set featured image. So there it is, right? So it looks weird here, but it actually, once you hit save draft, okay, it's saving and preview. It's going to look right. There we go. 785 by 400, just like every other featured image. So now you have your title, your featured image, okay? And see, she's not, the aspect ratio is correct, right? She's not squashed from top to bottom because I needed to fit it in here. I just moved the picture around so it fit my frame. That's what I did in Figma. Okay, so now I have my article, I have my table of contents. This happens automatically, so you just have to make sure that you create the H2s and the H3s, and then this gets created automatically. And now your article's done. All these things happen automatically. Okay, and then you just save that draft, and then I will look it over and publish it. That's it. Have fun.